at a few areas of the tropics, and we go ready to go.
Okay. Well, good afternoon again to everyone who is watching and listening on Whisper and Hope for the weather update. This afternoon, I'm here again with your meteorologist, Mr. Lenard Josiah, who has been proven to be 99.9% accurate so far for the season. And that's a very high percentage. But we're here this afternoon and for another weather update, July 8, 2020. So, Mr. Josiah, what's in the weather for us this afternoon in and around our areas?
All right, then. So we continue to look at high pressure reestablishing itself over the area. Many of you would have been so happy for the little bit of rainfall that we received yesterday. Some might have hoped that they would have seen a little bit more last evening, but the high pressure system raced in quickly and stabilized the weather conditions because that tropical wave is moving rather quickly towards the west to northwest. And as such, the dry atmospheric conditions that we saw today was indicative of a high pressure system in itself reestablishing itself over the island chain. And as such, we are not necessarily focusing on too much of shower activity at all for us here in Antigua and Barbuda. The next couple of days are likely to show the weather conditions remaining relatively stable. Actually, the forecasts suggest that only a slight chance of a shower between tonight and tomorrow. So we're not looking for any significant weather producing systems over the island chain other than it being the high pressure ridge stabilizing weather conditions. So another dry day tomorrow.
Another dry day tomorrow. I've been looking at the weather, the physical graphics out there, charts, and it indicates that something is happening up north of us. Is that going to have any impact on us? I think the last time I checked, it was a red X, and it indicates from my cursory knowledge 70% chance of becoming a named storm.
That's right. That's right. Well, that particular area is an area of disturbed weather that is just about to emerge into the Atlantic Ocean from the U.S. mainland. What they have been doing is to try and see if they could pinpoint what is likely to take place. And if it does happen at all, we are going to be looking at the F name storm because we had A, B, C, D, E, and the F being the Faye. Now, what is expected to take place with that is expected to emerge off the North Carolina and Georgia coastlines in the next couple of hours. And the National Hurricane Center suggests that the atmosphere is conducive for it to do some development. So why it has a high mark on it? Because they are expecting some further development because of the warm Gulf Stream and also favorable upper level conditions. And as of 2 p.m. this afternoon, it continues to have a high chance of developing, just about 70% chance, and is going to be closely monitored between now and tomorrow for continued signs of development. It's not going to be of impact to us here in Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean for that matter. If it does materialize into anything, it's likely to move up north and skirt the Outer Banks before it moving on towards the northeast. So it's not necessarily anything that would produce any negative impacts for us, other than it will be potentially be another tropical cyclone, albeit it may be a depression tonight and possibly be called a Faye in the next couple of hours if the development trend continues.
So you have indicated that tomorrow is going to be another fair day, let me put it that way, fair day with a very slim chance of any rain at all in it. But what about other conditions, other weather conditions such as gusty winds, etc.? Anything?
Yeah, so right, so the high pressure system continues to be settled across the area. And the tighter the pressure gradient, we would get some breezy conditions. When I say breezy, I'm talking about breeze that is friendly to us, not necessarily creating any stormy weather conditions. If at all you hear me say we, then you will know that there's a distinction between the fair weather breeze and the bad weather breeze. So for tomorrow, there's a likelihood of us seeing winds on the order of 10 to 18 knots. And that is what we call a breezy day for us here in Antigua and Barbuda, but it's not going to be one that is going to be negatively impacting the residents of Antigua and Barbuda. It would provide some cool for, with the temperatures, but not necessarily in a bad way in terms of storminess. So yes, we might have some good breeze in terms of 10 to 18 knots. You might feel it if you're closer to the coastline, particularly on the eastern coast. That is likely to take place. Also, the hazy conditions, all it is expected to be just remaining slight, but so it's not going to be any sort of impact to us in the context of the lungs, etc., or those individuals who are more vulnerable to the hazy conditions as the asthmatics, etc.
Earlier you indicated, looking at what was in the area at that particular time, that we could look in for a possible wet weekend. Is that still on the cards?
Yeah, the models have trended downwards a little bit, but notwithstanding, there's going to be, or there's likely to be, a tropical wave in the area sometime during the course of the weekend. The earliest time might be Saturday, the latest time might be early Monday. So we're looking sometimes between Saturday and Sunday night going on into Monday that we will see a tropical wave in the area. How much development that it will undergo is still up in the air. The models are not suggesting that it will develop at all. However, there is a sign that there could be some development out just to the east of us, which would make the wave become a little bit more active. And even though it might not develop, the wave can hold itself together and come across us as an active wave. So I'm still holding out that during the course of the weekend that we could see a tropical wave in the area. How much rain? It will become clearer in time.
Okay, so Josiah, we want to thank you again this afternoon for bringing our weather update, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. God continue to bless you. Have a pleasant evening.
Okay, same to you, man, and good evening to everyone.